Warning, 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 warning.
To the world. Warning, warning, warning. Climate change is happening. We got to do something, no doubt. To the world, we're calling out. Hey.
See the signs, they all reveal that global climate change is real. It's not a matter of when or how. Climate change is happening now.
In 2009, several artists came together to warn us that climate change is real and to demand we take action, climate action.
Summers are hotter than they used to be.
Stronger hurricanes.
More frequently.
You see?
13 years later, artists are looking back at the message, the climate action mission, and the role artists can play in today's fight against climate change.
See the signs, they all reveal that global climate change is real.
Now want you.
It's not a matter of when or how. Climate change is happening.
Grub Cooper helped produce the iconic climate change song Global Warning, written by Lovindare.
Mr. Grub Cooper, take us back to 2009 and the Global Warning song. Tell us the story. How did you get involved? Why was it necessary to conceptualize this song in the first place?
INDI Lafayette approached me, Lovindare, and some other musicians who, quote unquote, were fairly influential writers in the music business. And she introduced me in a closer way than, so to speak, to the whole business of climate change. So she said a good vehicle to market this whole climate change phenomenon would have been through music. Obviously, I immediately agreed with her because I know that nothing communicates to human beings like music does. The spoken word is fine, you know, even the politicians run to the music thing because spoken words is made on a platform or maybe on a media come in one broadcast. That's saying that when you put it to music and, you know, words and music and a beat and whatever, a video go together, it's a coming together of many facets of the arts, and so you can't beat that. So the idea was, let us create a song. And we had meetings and everybody was sensitized. I elected to, let Lovindare be the one to spearhead the writing of the song. And so it came about. So I wrote the song, I arranged it, got many artists to take part, and they were very, very enthusiastic because so good was the whole program that the artists bought into this thing because they understood what INDI was saying and the importance of dealing with the climate change issues. It's now on the front burner, it's not the back burner thing no more. And the video is as relevant today as it was 13 years ago.
I just get a call from, it was you here on our INDI. Yeah, I got a call and Rasta Rebellion, we are doing this project and we would like for you to be on board. Well, climate change, we all know that's something that have to do with life. So it's a yes for me. So I was on board from then.
So it was a no-brainer for me to be involved in the climate change thing. It's no sweat at all. And to this day, it's all there. And if I was called upon to do a song in the morning, I would do it. Because it's that important to mankind. You know, and I am one musician or entertainer. I want to be on the right side of history.
As the primary actor for climate change in the UN system, the United Nations Development Program was asked to contribute funding to the production of a song and music video called Global Warning, spearheaded by PANOS Caribbean, and we also funded the climate change education training for participating artists back in 2009. Although produced 13 years ago, the song still resonates with us today with its infectious rhythm and powerful message.
I think the Voices for Climate Change Education Project has so much passion, so much enthusiasm, so much commitment on the part of the artists, and this has been from the start, because remember, it is not a paid program. We've never had money to be able to pay the artists. What we've done, when we've had funds, we would provide a small stipend, and we would cover costs like transportation and food and so on. So the fact that we've had at our highest point, we had 35 artists who were integrally involved in the project, you know, being out there spreading the messages both in Jamaica and regionally and internationally, and they've never really been paid. I think that is tremendous, and I'm so thankful for that goodwill.
So the primary strength of the video is simple communication about climate change and the role that each of us as Jamaicans have to play. So the rhythm is another thing that's very infectious, right? Because the rhythm is very good. You can enjoy it while listening to the music and memorizing the words.
Climate change is happening now. Watch this, they're burning the garbage everywhere.
The groundbreaking global warning song and music video inspired another generation of climate advocates.
I get involved through the voice that I had. I sang a song for James Bond Beach here. Let's beautify Jamaica. Let's beautify Jamaica. Let's start with the beach. A clean environment that we seek. Because me no want to see me no see and no garbage a swim with me now. So beautify our country. Clean up the beach. They led me to Voice for Climate Change from INDI. INDI led me to Aaron Silk as a warrior for Voice for Climate Change. He said me fit that purpose, so he sent me on. It was a concern for how we treat the beach, and I was the artist, them say, who fit, they bring that message across. So they came to me and tell me that I must write a song for the beach cleaning up. So when I come down by the beach, I see all of the problems we're facing our environment. Good coral, we fish them, you understand what I say? So I write the song.
Whatever affects the environment and affects us as people everywhere affects me too, and my generation coming up. So naturally, I would be interested in taking part in anything that I see is very conscious and good to take part in. I'm a poet, so I did do 2 pieces of poetry. One of them was, "It's time to stand up and take a stance and stand up. It's time to wise up and overstand and stand up. Climate change is a serious thing, so lift your voices and help me sing. Remember, the bird in the tree and the fish in the sea are all depending on you and me." My inspiration for that piece is that the whole environment is hurt. Everything is hurt. All nature is hurt by climate change.
The first time I realized how effective an artist can be, you know, of really using climate message fused with song was when I was a part of the delegation going to Paris, COP 21, you know, and I remember being in the Caribbean pavilion, and come lunchtime, you know, music strike up, and you know, I started performing, and I was performing a song, you know, that was written by myself, you know, INDI, MCLYMONT-LAFAYETTE, and Peter Arena, you know, and when we started, we pulled every other pavilion. I'm talking about the whole world was there, you know, and we pulled the whole pavilion. The whole other pavilion just came, and we were just looking at people, big cameras that I've never saw before, you know, just want to capture a piece of the song that I was singing, reggae music. You know what I'm saying? That the whole thing, I can even sing a little piece of the chorus,
please.
you know, the song was going something like, Mother Nature is crying, for Mother Earth is dying, while the factories polluting, yes, climate change is happening. Oh, see the sea levels rising, stronger hurricanes are blowing, and what the farmers are farming, global warming destroying. It's getting hotter every day. Climate change is on the rise and it don't play. Got to keep it below 1.5 degrees. 1.5 to stay alive. That's what we need to survive. Yes, 1.5 to stay alive. Don't let it rise above 1.5, no. And when we left the evening to go on the train, everybody was singing this. 1.5, even on the train. When we were picking up our train tickets and things, people were just singing. Speaking about sea levels rising, what you said in your song, we played out of Jamaica, right? And there's an area called Treasure Beach. So I would say maybe 15 years ago we started playing there, maybe 15, 20 years, because I know them big now, little watch and this and that. And the first time we played at that seafood restaurant, the famous, you know. All right, this is the bandstand here, yeah? And the sea was way out sound, you know what I mean? Bandstand here and the crowd is there. After maybe 5, 6 years, you know, you don't go there every year, but you go and you say, oh, the sea look nearer now. Probably don't remember the place too tough, you know. About, I would say, now in 2022, maybe about 2017, 2018, when we went down there to play, right? This is the back of the bandstand, yes? Where the post is. And usually the drum riser is right there. The sea was splashing water behind me. I said, what is this after being way out? But this the level of the sea is rising and it come and it take over the whole thing, so much so that they had to move the bandstand. I think I've been here for a few years, but they moved it. Everything was wrong and they had to move it in until I think they try now do some kind of a barrier thing, artificial barrier reef to kind of hold the thing out. But you know, that is a practical, you say, what? You really couldn't believe it.
One of the most popular spots as a restaurant in Jamaica for many years is out at Brandy's in Hillside. Remember, you went, you had your fish and you walk in the beach. No, you can have your fish and one foot in the beach at the same time. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but a lot of that is the same, is because of malpractice. We need to constantly be pushing these things and in different forms of the art, but definitely music as one of the, you know, the greater driving force to educate and empower people to, you know, make conscious, smart decisions.
A long time we are upset the ecology. No, climate change is a reality. No strange weather changes all year round. We can't stop it, but we can slow it down.
Climate change could drive an additional 100 million people into poverty by 2030. The fact is, climate change impacts water and food security, coastal defenses, economic growth, and livelihood. UNDP's global mission is to eradicate poverty while protecting the planet. As such, climate change is one of the pathways we use to address this issue. This climate change education initiative was an opportunity to expand advocacy for climate action.
Since 2009, I think we're talking about when that nice climate change song with Love in There had come about. I think there has been heightened awareness among Jamaicans. More people are connecting with what's going on in climate change. There is this awareness among the general population at all levels, not only among the people in the communities, but among the government agencies, among everybody. People are connecting more with what is happening. People are living the experiences more and talking about it more. You can see people connecting more. I mean, when people talk about ELSHA, they know exactly that it is, they can connect that to a climate event, sea level rise, the impact. When people talk about Little Ochi, they can connect that, sea level rise. When people see the revetment out at the airport now, they know why it is there. So that heightened awareness is being built up. Still a lot more to go, but I think there is this heightened awareness that something is happening and the climate is changing.
To adapt to the ever-changing climate, some lifestyle changes we got to make. Emission of gases we have to reduce.
Turn off the lights when they're not in use.
The government has, since that time, 13 years ago, advanced a number of climate and climate-related policies. So, if you think about the emissions policy that was generated with the support of NEPA by our Ministry of Environment, the climate change policy framework through the Ministry of Environment as well, climate change division, the energy policy, the national communications, the nationally determined contribution, those are all policy framework documents to guide the country's responses to climate change, both in terms of adaptation and mitigation.
Listening to all of you, and particularly when you share the stories of what's happening in Treasure Beach, what's happening in Hillshaw, it brings me to a fact, or actually something that scientists predict for Kingston, Jamaica. So there's this issue of climate departure, and pretty much what it speaks about is the fact that the warmest temperatures that we have now will at some point become our coldest temperatures in the future. And Kingston, Jamaica is predicted to be one of the first 3 cities to experience that. So whenever I think about climate change, that's pretty much something that bothers me and something that wants me to take, greater action. And so I just want to hear from each of you now, what is it that bothers you the most when you think about climate change and how it's, impacting Jamaica and anywhere else that you may visit on the different journeys?
For me, I think it's the term, will become. Will become would suggest that we have no plans of changing our ways and our attitudes towards best practices for climate purpose. So I think that's one of the most disturbing things, that the fact that people think that this will become and this, it doesn't necessarily have to, and we have to figure ways, innovative ways of getting the information out there, getting the facts out there, because as much as Grub was saying earlier about the powers that be ultimately rest with the people. A lot of times it's just informed decisions. So we just need to get the information out there to the people so they can make informed decisions. So will can change to something else.
It bothers me to see the people not disposing the garbage properly, and then don't realize that when the rain falls and the garbage goes into the wrong place, the rivers and the sea and places like those, it has a very bad impact on the environment.
And what bothered me too, the hesitancy of not taking the step as we see it. We need to be more active. As we see the problem, we need to solve it, because tomorrow we cannot solve it. I'm not talking about the government alone. We need everybody to be active when it comes to climate change.
The UNDP Country Program 2022 to 2026 has 4 pillars that have been tailored to contribute to the reduction of multidimensional poverty in Jamaica. One of these pillars aims to support resilience to climate change, including natural disasters. Under this pillar, UNDP will focus on strengthening policy and legislation, promoting renewable energy and energy-efficient technologies, and developing nature-based solutions to strengthening local climate change adaptation capacities. In line with the focus of our country program document, we call for the expansion of protected areas and forests, policies and programs to foster sustainable livelihood, more nature-based solutions to reduce land degradation, restore ecosystems and enhance climate resilience, and speedier transition to clean energy and energy efficiency.
Some simple actions that Jamaicans can take to tackle climate change starts with, I would say, drought mitigation. You know, looking at your water security. If you don't have a black tank, buy one. If you can build a tank or gutter your house to ensure that you're finding a way to capture water, because we will be having longer droughts. So we have to prepare for that. Energy conservation, that is very, very critical. You know, turn off your lights when they're not in use. If you can get some solar on your house to cut your electricity bill, these are very practical things that you could look at. And let's not forget planting trees. When we plant trees, we mitigate our carbon footprint. We have shelter, shade, so there are lots of benefits. Trees and mangroves, just replanting in general. These are some of the basic things that we can start with, in addition to educating ourselves continuously about the climate impact.
The other thing is about how we handle our garbage. We've been discussing a lot, and NEPA is supporting initiatives relating to plastics and plastic pollution. We can play a part in containerizing and recycling our plastics, and don't purchase single-use plastics. So we have important roles to play. Easy, but important roles that can have a lasting effect.
Jamaica is known for two things. Our athletics and our music, within the power of the artists, especially an international artist.
If it is that you want to take this movement of Voices for Climate Change education to the next level, what does next level look like to you? What should artists be doing? What is your vision for how music can influence change?
Engagement. We have to get other people engaged, especially the people for now. Generation speak better to generation, their own generation, just like we did. So I think we have to figure out how to get, you know, a more diverse and more youthful set of people involved in getting us to the next stage.
We should be going into the communities now, you know, and educating people about climate change, because it's that critical and it's that important.
13 years later, artists are still united for climate change action with one simple message: climate change is real.
There must be a solution for all this pollution. Climate change is real, it's no illusion. It's killing our world. When it dies, where will you stand? Unless you're planning to leave Earth and go live with mutant. Stop block the drains with plastic and juice pan or beautiful beaches. Every day we lose sun. The fossil fuel from the fire, can't you see it's too strong? Is it worth to kill Earth for a few grand? Mother Nature yearns for life, the more the factories burn. She cries, when will we learn and be wise? The more the ice cap melts, sea rise. Mother Nature yearns for life. Need your help.
We have to go green. We have to go green. 1.5 we need to stay alive. So go green, my people, go green. 1.5 we need to stay alive. Yeah, yeah.
Climate change, yes, climate change. Listen and learn about the climate change. Climate change, less climate change. For some things, we must rearrange. It is real, and the signs are all about. Real in the east, real in the west, real in the north, and real in the south.
So we nearly truly need to take a stand. So we really need another revolution. People, we need to truly take a stand. We really need another
revolution before Mother Earth is all gone. We are all in the same boat, people. Together we sink or together we float. And I also want to say there is no right way to do the wrong thing. So let us do the right thing. Deal with climate change now and never ever give up the fight for it.
We're losing the reefs and the beaches, flooded in the coastal communities. See the science.